Okay guys, so this is my Round Baler BR 7060. So yesterday I was just doing some routine greasing. The day before I took the leaf blower and blew it all out as much as I could without getting like, you know, I got it pretty good. It should be a little bit better, but I cleaned it out, cleaned a bunch of it out, blew it all out, and then yesterday morning I came up to grease it. So I had some hay. I have hay down, and I already raked it. So I was going to grease the baler, go rake some more, and then come back, grab the baler, and go bale hay. So I was greasing it, and I found a bearing that was bad. So show you, if you look up top here, you see the bearing. I took the bearing off. So that is what they call a top tailgate bearing. So it really wasn't too bad to get off. The hardest part was getting the bolts out because of the tension, which I forgot when I was doing it. So here is the old bearing, and the only thing that's wrong with it is it's missing this that collar. I think it's a little bit different bearing. This is the new one, and you can see how it's actually made so it's not concentric. See that, how it's bigger over here than is over there. But I think just that outer ring was bad, and then it messed up the lock collar. Okay, so that was on there. This lock collar actually goes on, has a little bit of space. So I could see, when I looked up there, I could see there was like a piece just barely sticking out on the side. I didn't have my camera with me yesterday. So we got a new one. They actually call it a bearing assembly kit. And we got a new lock collar. And this just goes on there with a set screw. But in order to fix it, we have to, I think we have to take the tension off, because what's happening right now is if I put it up there, if I get up there, the bolt holes won't line up. They're off by like probably a half a hole. And so I have to take the tension off. So if you ever have to work on one of these balers, there's a way to take the tension off. If you have, you know, of something wrong with a belt, or what, at one time we had a belt flip. I flipped one of the middle belts, and actually I couldn't remember how to take the tension off, and I Googled it, and I came up with a video, and a guy showed how to do it. So it's this lever right here. You lift the door up, and then you take this lever and you move it, and it slides that pin out right up top there. That pin comes out, and it catches on that arm, and it holds the door up, and then the belts are loose. So I'm pretty sure we have to do that because the belts go over top of these rollers up there on both sides, and I think I have to do that just so that will give me just enough room, hopefully, to lift it up to get the bolts lined up. And of course, you know, I'm doing it by myself, so hopefully I can manhandle that thing and do it by myself. But there's 4 of the bearings that are the same, so there's these 2 up there. And then the other bearings are different. The bearing down there and on the other side are different. And the bearing in front of that, those 2 might actually be the same. Not sure. But they all have a collar on them that's with a set screw that keeps it on there. So the thing is, if you look at the bearing, I mean, it's not terrible. So I could have probably ran it, right? I mean, it still turns. It still has lots of grease in it. I could have probably ran it. But I was afraid that if I ran it, it would seize up on the shaft or something. You know, if it came apart and it got hot enough or whatever, seize up on the shaft, and then it'd be like super hard to get off. You know, I had that happen with my vacuum pump the one year, and the bearing came apart, and I couldn't get the race off. You know, the inside of the bearing, couldn't get that off the shaft because You know, it's designed to be pulled off with the bearing all at once, and that was a pain. We had to take a grinder and cut it, and then we had to clean the shaft all up in order to get it back on there. But so I just decided, hey, I'm gonna, you know, I don't like letting hay sit. I don't, you know, it might rain today. It's supposed to have already rained. I never heard it before, but the other day, Farming Fix and Fabricating Andy was like, hey, there's no dew. It's gonna rain, and there's no dew right now. So if he's right, then the rain's coming. It's like a 50% chance. I mean, it's July, 24th? You know, 74 degrees already. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's probably coming. But anyway, we're going to see if we'll set you down here. And I think we had, of course, there's a part of a bale in there. Trying to figure out where to set you. Well, I don't know. Guess we'll just get the tractor started here. So hopefully, I'm not sure if that bale is going to be in the way or not. I might have to. I wish I'd have thought about dropping the bale out before I took the bearing off. But anyway, we'll get the. I mean, when I open up the door, the bale's going to come out. It's like a little over half a bale, I think. But whatever, it's not a big deal. All right. Oh, the bale actually stayed in there. So that's okay. I don't think that mattered. Well, I don't know. I want that bale. The bale probably comes out under, you know, the belt spinning, but I don't really want to spin the belt. I don't know if I can do it like this. Probably can't. So we probably have to, I don't really want to, but we're going to spin it just a second here. Nice. Well, the bale's in there. Like a brick. It is like a brick. You might have to. I thought maybe if I just spun it just a little bit, it would come out of there. Oh, it's nasty. Been in there for a few days. I don't think I can. Well, we'll try it, I guess. I don't know if I can do it with the bale or not. I'd like to try to get it out of there, but I don't know how to get it out of there. Can't quite get a grip on it. It's core of the bale is hard, hard, hard. Well, I don't know if it's going to work like this. The bale is get that pin out of there now. I'll be. The bale is not cooperating. All right, well, that's nasty. So I can't quite reach the lever. So you just spin that. I'll show you. It's hard to say whether it's so bale's all nasty, whatever, it doesn't matter. I wish I'd have thought about that before, but this lever right here, so normally it sits like that, okay? That's how it is in the close. You can see the pin is in. Take the lever, you pull on it, unlatch it from its keeper, and then just rotate it. The pin comes out. So that pin's going to catch that arm when we put it down and take the tension off. It's also going to stop also going to stop. I think the baler's, I think it stops, but I can't remember how it takes the tension off, whether it's on the way down or I guess it took the tension off the bottom. I think it go all the way down or not. Maybe. Oh yeah. So there you can see you got the tension off the belts. So I can lift up on it. Hopefully I can lift up that that whole shaft there. The wheel was just stuck in there. Get this all cleaned out there a little bit. So hopefully I can just put this one on there. Of course I forgot my... The only thing I know is it's got a grease fitting. Right here's where the grease fitting goes. And that goes towards the tractor. That's the only thing that I know of other than as far as placement goes. So we're going to see if we can get the foiler in position so I can stand on it. Like so. Alright. So this is how I took it off. I stood on the back of the foiler to climb up there. I don't have a... I mean, I do have a ladder, but... I don't feel like dragging the ladder out here. So... trying to figure out if there's a way I could set this. Let's try back here. What the heck? This is not terrible. So, just gonna climb up there on the foiler and shut the tractor off. So hopefully there's enough tension off there that I can pick the shaft up just enough to get the bolt holes lined up. All right. So real quick, the only thing they didn't give me for some reason, they did not give me washers. So I think I might have lost one. Oh, there they are. All right. I dropped one on the ground yesterday, and I guess I picked it up. So they didn't give me washers, which is kind of weird. My dad said that they didn't even give him two bolts, which is kind of weird. But let's see if this is... Wish I had my gloves. I have rubber gloves, but I didn't bring them. I wish I did, because I'd like to just not get as greasy. But anyway, we'll have to see if we can get it up there. I wish I had a better place for the camera, but I'll grab the camera once we get started, maybe. I'm trying to remember everything. I don't like to climb up there and down 50 times. I did that yesterday. I did find out yesterday that the tailgate does not hold me. I thought the tailgate, being for brown bales, would be able to hold you, but it doesn't hold me. So I just kind of stood right here and worked on it for a while. There's just nowhere to set anything. But the bearing itself, the shaft itself is, I think it's all right. So we're going to put these washers in there. Be dropping them. So I'm over here. I have not much idea what's on the camera. I hope you can see me. Hope the camera doesn't die. Just want to clean it up just a little bit. See if there's anything on it. There is a piece of string on it. Yep. Looks like a piece of baler twine. Big surprise, right? So we'll pick up all these rags later. Just a little bit of string on it. The shaft does look good. I don't see anything on it now. It's got where the bearing sits, it's got a little taper, so where the bearing sits is just a little bit bigger. Maybe like, I don't know, I used to be a machinist, probably like 30 thousandths or so bigger. So it goes on there just like that. I'm hoping it doesn't go on there too hard. But it might. It might. Don't know how to. It doesn't look like it has any bad spots. Don't see a burr or anything. You can see where it's been sitting. Maybe. But I think the bearing goes way back there. The other one's where the collar sits. So I don't know, maybe I won't be able to put it on. It really seemed like it wanted to start. Maybe I'm gonna have to get somebody to help me. Of course, you know the hard part is putting it on like straight. That's the hard part. That is exactly how it goes, though, just like that. Wish I had a block of wood or something. I'm really missing that side by side. So the side by side's foot stuck. Side by side is still not running, and I could just carry a lot more tools. I'm thinking if I had a block of wood, I could probably use a hammer and I could probably pound it on there. I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. It seemed like it would go on halfway decent. But I can't even think where a block of wood would be other than somewhere completely different than where I am. Alright guys, I think I missed a video. I don't think I started the camera or something maybe, I don't know. But we got it back in there, so the shaft had this little boogering from the set screw. Actually, there's a spot below the set screw. So I cleaned it up with some 220 to grit sanding discs like this. Just took that in my hand and cleaned it all up, and it went right on there. Then I had to pick up on the shaft to line up the bolts, and we got it right on there. So now I got to put the grease fitting in. It goes right here. I think that's the way it goes. Maybe it's only... I don't think it matters. The elbow, I don't think it matters which way it goes, but... Get it in there. And so this baler is kind of weird. It's metric. It's like this is at 11 millimeter. The bolts up here I think were 17 or 18. It's kind of weird. It's a New Holland. You know, they're made in Pennsylvania, even in New Holland, and they're metric. Whereas the disc bind and everything is English. Kind of weird. Disc binds are made in New Holland too. So at least mine is. So that's kind of weird that it's at least it's weird to me that's metric. It's annoying. And this just goes on there. So this bearing did not get, I don't know why it gave out, but it was not for lack of grease. This thing was, it was well greased. Well greased. I mean, I have not been able to avoid the grease the entire time I've been working on it. It's kind of annoying. And I got just enough grease that I can't get the thread started. Cannot get a grip on it with my finger. About out of shop towels. Can line it up, but I can't get it started. What in the heck? I'm gonna do it the other. Oh, I don't know. I guess I gotta do it this way. I can't. You got to put like the right amount of pressure to get it started. There we go. And turn it. I had it. Things like this are probably the most annoying of anything. Something like this where there's not a lot of room. There's only one way to do it. You know. Right there, it feels like it started, but it didn't. Come on, start on there. Oh. I can't tell which. They're a little bit different. Oh. How's that? Oh, maybe it is. Shouldn't make any difference, but the threads are. Maybe the threads are messed up one way or something. I don't know. I'll try it the other way. It didn't seem like it wanted to start in the bearing the other way. Lots of grease, that's for sure. Pretty sure that last time when I showed putting this on there, that I didn't have the camera on, so you didn't get to see that. But it went right on like butter. Once I picked up on the shaft and lined the bolts on, it was fine. Just had to get past that where that set screw was, and I didn't really look that bad when I've tried putting it on before. That's why I just pounded on. But it actually slid on by hand. So it's a little lesson for me. One of my old friends that passed away, he was an international. Well, they had an international dealership. He was the head of the service department, and he'd always say, "Well, you learned something, didn't you?" And I'd be like, "Yep. Well, then it was worth it." And that's true. You know, some guys like him that worked on machinery all the time fixing it, you know. They had manuals and everything too, but, you know, things don't always go according to the manual, you know. That's where today's, you know, guys are a little bit more challenged because they have to go by, you know, they go by manual, and under warranty things have to be done a certain way and things like that. And in a way it kind of, you know, kind of hinders them, I'm sure. Because you're like, well, I could fix it this way and it'd be fine, but it's not under warranty to do it that way, you know. I'm sure that happens. One more turn on here, maybe. Buggering up the threads. But, you know, that's what I like about doing stuff like this. I mean, it's not something that... It wasn't terribly hard. It would have been easier if I'd have seen that burr quicker. Oh, shoot. Might have messed up the threads there. Brass fitting. Which is why I wanted to do it the other way. It might be going though. There's not very much room to get either one done. The hose or the... It doesn't really matter, but they had it tucked back in there, so. It's funny because there's just, it's one of them things, there's room, but there's just not quite enough room. Like I can get the wrench, I can't quite get the wrench on there this way. Right there maybe. Just like a eighth of a turn. So, did booger up the threads on that fitting, but it's going on, so maybe they're different threads. So these are like the hoses, so your grease fitting's down there, and this brings the grease up to the bearing for you. I have one up front on the needles that I eliminated the hose. It broke out. I think it might have broke out twice. It's like, it's just bad spot, dry rotted or whatever, you know, get hay thrown up on it. Whereas back here, these don't get as much hay thrown on them, so they're not, they're not, you know, likely to dry rot. Guess my nut's got a bad spot in it, maybe. But anyway, we got the bearing in there, so guy came, Shannon, he's down there working on the side-by-side. He's gonna get the starter put in the side-by-side and get it serviced, get the oil changed, change the belt. So that's gonna be ready to go. So that's good. Get that back. It's been, oh, that was good. Dropped it right underneath that box. So get the side-by-side back. So there you go. She's installed. So right underneath, right where the set screw was, there's a little bad spot. Got all installed there. Just have to grease that fitting and put some twine in it, and we'll be ready to go. Get this tension put back on it. So there you go. That's the bearing change on a BR 7060, which I'm sure is, they probably had the same bearing set up for probably 20, 30 years or more, you know. I'm sure that's why when I called, it was kind of like, I called over, the service, one parts guy is on leave for medical leave, and the other guy was busy, and a lady answered the phone, and I told her what I needed, and she said, do you know a part number? And I'm like, no, I don't know a part number. She said, well, I'll write it down and I'll leave a message. So about, I don't know, a while went by, 45 minutes or so. I finally got online and looked it up and found the part number. So I thought, well, if I call back, he hadn't called me yet. I thought, well, if I call back and I get her, she can at least look up the part number. And he's like, well, so then I got him, and he's like, yep, there's a note here that you called. I was just getting ready to call you, but I guess you're something about, you know, like some sort of comment that I was, impatient or whatever, and the thing of it is, you have, you got hay down. I mean, I could have, could have been out of hay, could have been waiting to get the part so I could bale hay. I might have had to go to another dealer or something like that, So, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of impatient. And then it turns out that when I looked it up online, the part number that I had, it said out of stock. It didn't say out of stock. It didn't say that the part number had been changed or whatever. Well, that was what the case was. The part number had been changed, but from what I could see online on my side, I couldn't see that it was replaced by a new part number. So it just said out of stock everywhere. I checked like 3-4 dealers. They all said out of stock. I'm all great. I'm like, great. This is not good. So then when I called, he's like, oh yeah, we got 4 of them. And it's actually a bearing assemble that comes with the collar. And he's like, oh, we got 4 of them, which I figured that was going to be the case because they're probably pretty common. I mean, they probably used them in the 700 series, on about the 600 series, but I'll bet they've been using them for quite a while. Pepsi's a little warm. But anyway, it wasn't a bad job. The hardest part was getting the other one off and trying to put this one on with a burr, but we got her. So I'll lift up the baler and put the tension back on. Pick up some tools at one wrench. Right, oh, there it is. Underneath the seat. Oh, Husky, I love this tool set. My parents got it for me for Christmas. I really like it a lot. The only thing I don't like about it is which is kind of a dumb design for that part. They put the wrenches in the top door and they don't stay worth the darn. Might better put the sockets up there and put the wrenches in the bottom, but other than that, it's a pretty good set, and I've actually been able to keep most of them. I know where, like there's a couple, oh, there's the 18. There's a couple of them missing, but I know they're at the sugar house. So, I think I had a 17. Oh, 17 was in my pocket. That's at home. Let's make sure there's no more in here. So I started off my morning yesterday by going to getting a rake tire. I had a rake tire that exploded. It's probably, I don't know if they've ever been replaced or not, but I think it was dry rotted and it went flat and didn't see it quick enough, but it probably wouldn't have mattered. It would just basically disintegrated. But it's like they're I don't know what some kind of special tire, because they're kind of they're real flat across the top of them. It was $85. I think it was $80 for the tire, and they charged me $5 to get rid of the other one. So that's probably I thought it was going to be 150 or so. That's probably the cheapest trip I've made to the tire store in a long, long time. For a new tire, especially, So we're gonna shoot a little grease. So yesterday when I greased it, I thought the grease actually came out the back. It wasn't coming in the bearing. It shot right out the back. And there's 2 of them on here, top and bottom, and I can never remember which one's which. I was always going to take my paint marker and write on them, because they run right down beside each other, but I don't want to put it in the wrong one because that one's already well greased. And I don't want to have to change the grease gun. There we go. Got grease coming out, so that'd be good for that. So there we go. So now I just have to open up the baler and take the tension, take that bar back out, pin, whatever you call it. Bring a bag up later and pick up all these rags. Pain in the butt. I have those gloves, man, they're nice. I just forgot them today. I think they're in the side-by-side. They really work good. I like them. The mechanics gloves. So we'll get this close back up. It's all greased. Shouldn't have any. The other day I had one bale that it didn't trip to tie. I have no idea why it did it, but it was fine after that. I have no idea, but a couple years ago I learned how to take it apart and get it to trip. Just a cotter pin and a washer, and you can pop that thing up out of its slot. So we'll get this baler put back together. Just gotta so I'll show you one more time in case you missed the other one or maybe you didn't watch. So you just gotta take this handle and pull it, and it spins. See that angled part up there? It spins and then comes back down and it locks. So now the pin went back in. If you pull it and turn it, see the pin slides out. Really easy. It doesn't even one-handed. It's kind of neat how easy it is to do. So we'll get a little of this hay cleaned out of here. I don't have my leaf blower with me, but I'm always amazed at this baler how much hay collects where you don't want it. Up here, I think they call that the sledge. Just tons and tons of hay. Might be a little easier with the belt loose, actually. And it falls down through a little better. Bunch right here on the back. It's one thing that, in my opinion, is very disappointing. How much hay stays on the baler. Kind of ridiculous. Just collects everywhere, and then the problem is if you leave it outside, and it gets rained on, then you gotta pretty much take a pressure washer to get it off. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's no hose or nothing right here. That means you gotta take the baler to somewhere where there's water and electric to run the pressure washer. If you get shop someday, then that'll be, I don't know, shop or machinery shed. I'm not sure which one I want first. Both, I say. Probably machinery shed, but I don't know. Shop is kind of, I guess when I think about having both, I think about which one do you want first in case you don't ever get the other one. That bit there, I can't even get that out. Over there. So we'll get her put back down here. Go get some twine and we'll bale some hay. I don't think the counter's working worth a darn. So we get this, shut this off. So originally when I was planning on today, I mean, I got up early, got up at 7. I was planning on baling, you know, figured if it didn't rain, the hay's already been raked. Hay's already been raked. I'll have to worry about the hay, you know, drying anymore. It's dry enough. Some of it was raked yesterday, some of it was raked the day before. So I'm not worried about that. I'm sure the moisture is not real high, so I'll pick up all this junk later when I get my baler twine bag. I'll put it all in it. So we'll call that a video on the baler bearing replacement. I had a bunch of editing to do, but we'll get that done. The camera fell over. So we'll call it a video on the bearing, the round baler bearing replacement BR 7060. Got a bunch of editing to do the video, of course, but whatever. You know, hey, the 220 grit sanding discs worked like a charm. They work great. Cleaned it up enough, and I mean, it went right on with my fingers. I didn't have to press hard at all. And I didn't get that part on video because I forgot to turn the camera on. But anyway, you basically saw some of the video and how to do it, and see how to get the door to get the tension off the belts. So, and then they're loose right now because they were just loose, and then there's no bail or nothing in there. So we're gonna call it a video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. Have a great day.